What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of New York. This is season 15, episode 1. And if I'm going to be honest, I was not impressed. But let's get into it. So like I said, y'all, I wasn't impressed. I feel like this is why you don't release so many franchises out at once, because people start to compare, and I am those people. Okay? Because I started to think, I was like, with the several shows that are running right now, which is OC, Potomac, and Salt Lake City, if I had to rank where New York would be at the bottom of this list. And even if I feed in what's it called, New Jersey and Dubai, New York would still be somewhat at the bottom of the list. Because for me, my list would be OC, Salt Lake City, I would say Potomac, then Dubai, then I would give it to New York, and New Jersey could be flipped depending on how I'm feeling that day. It's just like, it just didn't give me what I expected or what I needed. And I can't really fault the episode that much, mainly because I wasn't impressed by the trailer. The trailer to me was very like, ugh. Like, I was just kind of like, honestly, the drama probably won't start until like the middle of the season based off of the trailer. But I was just like, okay, let me give them a chance, because I did review the official season reboot, which was season 14, and I thought it was decent. I thought it was a decent reboot. So if I'm the one to be talking trash to people about how they need to give Miami a chance, which I feel like Miami is the more superior reboot, then I definitely need to give Real Housewives of New York a chance. So that's why I decided, you know what, why not review it? So the episode opens up and we see the ladies down at this studio, and I think it said like 5 days or 6 days after filming, and they're doing their intro where they're all holding the apple and stuff like that. And everybody's kind of like on edge or feeling kind of awkward. Ubah got an attitude, and we don't see Brynn. We see Jessel and Erin having a conversation where Jessel is just like, this isn't really fair, and they really put us in an awkward spot because we're all friends, like everyone's friends with both of them. And Erin's like, I know, it's not fair. Then we see Sai speaking to Jenna, and Jenna is just like, I don't even know if they could come back from this. And Sai was like, you might really like have a point. Like, yeah, it's bad. Then we see Brynn pull up, and the vibe gets even more awkward and somewhat uncomfortable. So then we actually see them all holding the apple and posing for the intro. So we find out during when all the ladies were talking, they were flashbacking to like scenes of their cash trip, where you see Ubah being like, run the tape, she effing said it. And then she ends up telling, I think production or maybe one of the girls, like, if everyone takes her side, I'm going to quit. Then you see Brynn saying she's a 6'12" tall baby. She's a toddler or something like that in the kitchen, or yelling back at Ubah. Then you see Erin walk past Brynn being like, I think she said, you're ridiculous. And Brynn was like, who are you talking to, Erin? And Erin's like, I'm talking to you, you're ridiculous. As she walks out onto like the patio area. So it looks like Ubah and Brynn get into like a very heated exchange while they're on their cash trip. And I was watching the Brooke Ashley's review, and she dropped a little tea because, you know, she went to the premiere and she said, you know, it's lukewarm tea. So it's not, she was like, so don't be too wowed by it. But she basically said that she went to the premiere and she was like, Brynn actually left early, and Ubah and her seemed to like be actively like avoiding each other at the premiere party. So it definitely seems like they have not mended fences, and it probably is going to get worse as the season continues, because they always say, watching yourself on reality TV, you relive everything 3 times. You relive it when it happens like in real time, when the situation actually goes down. Then you relive it with everybody else when they're watching the show, and then you relive it again at the reunion. So it can be very triggering. So I wonder if they're going to be talking more online. Now, I don't know how deep the beef is. I wonder what started the beef. I don't know if Ubah's being extra like her cousin Chanel Ayan from Real Housewives of Dubai, because Ayan is very dramatic and gives theatrics and all the screaming and yelling. And I'm like, I don't know if Ubah's going to be on the same level as that or have the same behavior, but she seems pretty pissed at Brynn. So the episode opens up, and we officially open up this season with Brynn. So we find out that she moved into a new apartment, which that's great for her. I actually really like her apartment. The way she decorated it, I thought it was really cute and like chic. We know last season, or if you didn't know last season, the reason why we didn't get a lot of scenes of Brynn at her house is because I think either the person that owned her building or the company that owned her building didn't give like the production company like the green light to be like filming in hallways or like filming in that building like that in general. So this is a great move for her. She complains about how bad it is to move in New York, and I can only imagine. Like, it always seems like there's never any parking in New York, so I'm just thinking about like, how do you move or pack a U-Haul? Then going up and down flights of stairs, because it always feels like the buildings that most of these women live in are older buildings that don't have elevators. If they do have elevators, they're not the sturdiest. Like, I wouldn't want to put nothing in there like that's like weighted really heavily. So it's just like, yeah, girl, I would hate it too. I would hate moving in that city as well. So we find out that her brother is coming to stay with her. She also has a new cute little dog named Sugar, and I think her brother's only staying for like maybe like a month or so, or maybe 2 weeks, because remember, he works in Korea as a teacher, probably an English teacher, or maybe he does something else. I shouldn't like type him like that, but I actually have two friends who like I met in undergrad that they're twins, and they actually like moved to Korea, and I don't think they ever coming back. They were teachers, but I don't think they teach anymore, but they seem to really be enjoying their time over there. So her brother's admiring her house, saying how great it looks. I guess maybe this is his first time being there. So they sit down in the den area, and he's asking her like how she's been, how are the girls? And she's like, no, we're great. I'm thinking about having a party. And the brother's looking at her like, girl, I watched the reunion. Like, what kind of party you trying to have? Cause you was beefing with Sai. Like, I don't know. I think that's the only person and you got into it with Ubah, but y'all were able to like smooth it over. But Brynn is just like, no, I want to have a party. I want to invite all the ladies. I think it will be a lot of fun. We do find out that things between Sai and Brynn have not been resolved since the reunion. So hopefully Brynn is hoping that they might one day get to a point where they can go back to what there used to be. So we move on from Brynn, and we get to Jessel and Pavitt getting on the subway to go to like this authentic Chinese restaurant in Chinatown. And Jessel was kind of irritated because she was under the assumption that Pavitt was going to take her to like a nice restaurant, not a hole in the wall, as well as she feels like she's not dressed to ride the subway. So we find out that Jessel has only ridden the subway 2 times, even though she has lived in New York for 10 years, which is wild to me because as someone who grew up in the suburbs of Northern Virginia, I mean, I was near the mountains. I can't really count how many times I've been on the metro. And we would drive, like the 20 minutes or 35 minutes to Fairfax, get on that metro and be all up and down the metro, going all the way to Maryland. So I'm just kind of like, girl, what? And that just didn't make sense to me, but I get it. I mean, the subway is, I don't know, the New York subway is different. Like, the metro is a place, but the New York subway, that's another dimension because the videos I see are wild. So she gets on the subway. Pavitt's like, look, it's not that bad. Then she says hello to somebody. I said, girl, rookie move, because there's no way. I don't even talk to nobody I didn't even talk to anybody when I got on the metro. Headphones on, slightly a little bit taken off on the ear, so I can, like, it looks like they on, but I can still hear what's going on around me. And I always sat where I could see the door to see who getting on this train and who getting off. And don't speak to me. But we find out that she does Uber a lot, and her Uber bill is like $900 or like $910, which is not bad. I just was like, girl, if it's cheaper to ride the subway, then ride the subway. But I understand, if you got the money, you got the money. So they pull up to the restaurant. It's definitely a hole in the wall. They got 2 little tables outside the establishment. And Jessel's like recording Pavitt walking into the restaurant. I guess now Pavitt is like a food influencer on the side. Jessel's a little irritated by that, but I think it's more so because Pavitt has found something that he's very passionate about, but he doesn't give her the same passion, because she was like, I've never seen Pavitt look at me the same way he looks at food. And it's like, girl, I'm here. Like, why you not looking at me like that? She also brings up how, ever since she had her children, the twins, he doesn't like wine and dine her anymore, give her gifts. So she brings up while they're sitting outside, like eating their food, that, yo, you didn't even give me nothing for Valentine's Day. Now, I'm one of the people that doesn't really take Valentine's Day that serious, but if you've already stopped giving me gifts the way you used to do before I had my kids, then I'm gonna put more emphasis on Valentine's Day. So it's definitely looking like Pavitt could do more and make her feel special. They then start talking about embryos. We found out that they have several embryos in Beverly Hills, and they got the invoice for them housing them. And Jessel was like, she wants to try for a third child, mainly a little girl. And Pavitt is like, I don't want kids. And I really think it's because of how, like, their kids are. They're 2 years old. So I would guess, like, by the time they hit maybe 4 or 5, he might have a different vibe, because normally as kids get older and they start to have their own personality, they start to listen more, and they start to be more independent, people feel more inclined to have more kids. But right now Pavitt is like, no. And so Jessel was like, what if we have the next Beyonce or Elon Musk? And Pavitt said something about, like, I'm okay with Elon Musk. I said, what's wrong with Beyonce, Pavitt? I'm not even a part of the Beehive, okay? But I love me some Beyonce music. But I'm just kind of like, I would take Beyonce any day over Elon. Have you seen the stuff he be tweeting out? That man not right. Something wrong with him. But they move on from that. We then have a sit down between Erin and Ubah. So Erin and Ubah meet up and they're having lunch. We then see Rebecca Minkoff come. She's a new friend of, and Erin and her know each other. I had to Google her because I'm going to be honest, I don't know that much about fashion unless, like, the names you always hear, like Gucci, Saint Laurent, what's it called? Like Louis Vuitton, brands that, like, are common that people talk about all the time. And so I Googled her and then I saw her purses and I said, oh, that's who makes these purses. So I'm like, oh no, she got money. This lady has money, because I've always seen those purses since I was a kid. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she sits down. We see that Erin and Ubah are definitely in a better place compared to what they were last season, because I'll never forget Ubah snatching them glasses off of Erin's face, and Erin was scared. Okay, she was scared. She's like, you're bullying me. And Ubah said, no, I'm not. So they're good. Erin even says that she talks to Ubah more than she talks to her sister. Erin tells Ubah, love looks great on you. So Ubah's really enjoying her new relationship. Y'all found that man last season so quick. It was crazy. But she seems really happy. She lets the ladies know that she's thinking about having kids with him. But she's kind of like, has a little bit of apprehension, because she's just like, I like the way my life is. If I want to wake up late, I can wake up late. If I want to go, fly to Paris, I can fly to Paris. I don't have to worry about anything like that. But having kids, you do have to worry about those things. But she was like, now that I'm with this guy and I'm in love and I'm all of these things, we talk sometimes, and then I'm like, you know what, maybe we should have kids. And sometimes it happens that way. Like, I've seen some people be like, I never want kids. And then they actually, like, meet somebody that they have such strong feelings for, that they fall in love with. And then they have kids and they're happy that they have their kids. And then you got other people that are like, nah, bro, I don't want none of them. I don't want them things. I don't want children. And that's okay. But it probably would be interesting to see Ubah be a mom. So she said they're going to start trying in November for kids. But she was like, if they can't, or she can't conceive because she is older, they're thinking about adopting, which I think is sweet. So while Ubah, Erin, and Rebecca are having a conversation, we then switch over to this scene of Brynn, Jessel, and Jenna at, like, a furniture store. And Jessel is happy to be invited because she feels like this is Brynn's way of letting her know that she likes her style. Brynn, being shady in the confessional, is like, Jessel's style is Jessel's style. But then when I look at Brynn's house and I remember the way Jessel's house looked, I'm like, girl, y'all have pretty much the same style or similar style, so why are you trying to shade her? So they're walking around and they end up on this sectional. And so they sit down, and then Jenna ends up letting them know that she stank because she forgot to put on deodorant. And then Brynn is like, oh my God, you're human. And then she's like, it's like finding out that God takes a you know what. And in my opinion, what is wrong with Jenna? Because most like regular people, I don't know if it's regular, I'm gonna say regular people, if you stank, you don't let people know. It's like you zip up your jacket and you conceal it that way. But you don't let you don't even let your friends know. You try to go to the bathroom and wash your pits to make sure you don't smell worse. But then you got Brynn sniffing like dead in her arm and was like, ooh, girl. And then Jessel being like, yeah, she do stank in her confessional. So she moves to the other side of the couch with Brynn. So while they're talking, Brynn brings up how she was like walking or like she was in vacation, I think in like Palm Beach, and some girl came up to her. No, a mother came up to her daughter being like, oh my God, I love you on the show. They was really giving you a hard time. And I can't believe on the Jeff Lewis podcast, Erin called you a call girl. So Brynn said she was really pissed when she heard about it. Later on, we find out that she didn't even look at the episode to figure out if Erin really said that, but she confronted Erin about it. Erin apologized because she could tell that Brynn was actually hurt, and she was just like, I just couldn't believe she said something like that, so disrespectful and lewd. But then I'm like, well, Brynn, your behavior kind of lends to that narrative. Not saying that it's right, but it's like always trying to be this fluffed up sex kitten. It gives people that air that that's just how you are in your day-to-day life, but like I don't think you are. I think it's just something like a defense mechanism for yourself, but it's old. Like it's very old. Like we don't care anymore. So she was like, yeah, she was pissed at Erin about that, but they talked about it and they seem to be moving on. They then get onto this conversation about how Erin called Jenna poor. So we find out, and Jessel starts telling her story in her confessional. So she basically says that Erin and Jenna were in the Hamptons around the same time. Remember, Jenna has like a vintage car. It broke down and Erin offered to get Jenna a Uber. So Erin got Jenna a Uber. The Uber was $250 and Jenna never paid her back. So Erin was telling Jessel and Brynn about the story where she was just like, she really called you poor. She said, maybe she's having money troubles because he never paid me back. And what I clocked with Brynn is when she feels like she's been done wrong by you, she will use a story that is true, but she will add sauce to it or twist it to make it worse than what it is. Because we then flip back to Erin and the lunch she was having with Ubah and Rebecca, where she's explaining the story where she was like, girl, I'm a storyteller. I never called Jenna poor. I never called Jenna poor, okay? Never called Jenna poor, because Erin lets it be known that Brynn has invited everybody to come to her event at her the first group event for the season. And Ubah's like, have you seen Brynn? And Erin's like, no, the last time I talked to her was after like the whole Jeff Lewis thing. She was like, I apologized to her, even though I didn't say those things. But then I found out that she basically told Jenna that I called her poor because there was like a house party, or Jenna had like a house get together where everybody came over, and she could tell that Jenna was feeling some type of way. And Jenna told Erin, like, don't leave, I want to talk to you. So Erin's like, okay, girl, like, what's up? And so they have a conversation, and Jenna tells Erin, well, Brynn told me you were telling her and Jessel that I'm poor. And Erin's like, I don't even speak about people like that or in that way. I did not say that. She was like, did I make a joke about you not paying me back? Yeah, but I never said that you were poor. And then Erin in her confessional was like, you're Jenna Lyons. I know Jenna's not poor. She got a $10 million apartment and a $5 million beach house. The lady's not poor. But I feel like maybe Jenna is just cheap, because if you have a $10 million house and a $5 million beach house, why can't you give your friend $250? Now, I am the type of person, and I've been taught by my parents, that once you give money out, you should not expect it back. My parents have always said, don't give of yourself if you're going to be hurting for that money. So I get that, but I'm also just like, girl, you have all this money, you can drop somebody $250. And how come like you don't have like car service, Jenna? Like that just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So Jenna is like, I don't know, because I talked to Erin, because it flips back to Erin and no, it flips back to Jenna and Brynn and Jessel, where Jenna is like, I talked to Erin and she said she did not do that. And then Jessel is like, we talked about it and it was like, I don't think she meant anything malicious by it. I think she was just trying to make a joke. And Brynn is like, do you really think we made that up? Like, for real, like, we did not make that up. So then Jenna says in her confessional, she's just like, we all gossip, so I don't really know who to believe. There's two sides to every story. So we then have this scene of Sai and Jessel actually hanging out, which I was surprised. I didn't think that they would be this cool to where they're doing like, friendship dates, because last season Sai was giving Jessel the blues because Sai felt like Jessel was pretentious and she wasn't being honest about her life, when it really did feel like Jessel was being honest. Sai just probably had her own perception of who she thought Jessel was and stuff like that. But they're at this spa to do a cold plunge. The water that they're sitting in is like 37 degrees. I don't know. While I was watching the episode, my chest got really tight, like really tight. I was like, ugh, isn't that so cold to like make you like, your skin burn and your chest hurt? I said, get out that water. So they get out the tubs. It was funny though when Jessel was like, F you, Sai, F you, shut up, just shut up, just shut up. And so they get into the sauna, and while they're in the sauna, Jessel was like, how you been? You look good, you look great, and you seem different. And Sai is just like, after last season and seeing myself, like, I don't want to be like that no more. Like, seeing myself and, the backlash was enough for me to realize that I probably do need to change my behavior. Sai's confessional with the black, the all black with the black bow, love it. Y'all know I love me a cute little bow. Love me a cute bow. So Sai is just kind of like, I'm just on a different path. So then they talk about going to Brynn's party, and Jessel was like, so how are you and Brynn? And Sai's like, we're where we were like last time we met, which was at the reunion, where Sai apologized to Brynn for lashing out and going off on her at I don't remember whose party it was, but I just remember Sai cussed Brynn out because Brynn let it be known that Sai told her that Ubah had a boyfriend, and Ubah was being very private about having her boyfriend and like seeing somebody, and Sai was just embarrassed because she broke Ubah's trust, and she was just like, Brynn, why would you do that? Like, that was in the circle. Why would you tell? But she went off on Brynn, and like at the reunion, Sai apologized, and Brynn was kind of like, I got 1,000 friends, I'm good on her. So I think when it comes to Brynn and Sai, they were both kind of hurt by the situation because Brynn and Sai were able to trauma bond over their like traumatic childhoods. And I also think Brynn looked up to Sai because Sai, even though had a very traumatic childhood, was able to meet her husband and have her kids and live this lifestyle where she's this influencer. Like, she built her own like destiny, or like her own path, coming from where she was as a child. So I think Brynn admired that. So having Sai go off on her like that, I think that really bothered her, and it really hurt her feelings. So I think she was hoping for more of a sincere apology from Sai, not just what she got at the reunion. But Sai is of the like belief, like, girl, I apologize, and if you can't take that apology, then maybe it is like pretty much it is what it is. Like, the ball's in your court. It's no longer me constantly apologizing to you. So more stuff happened at that party that Jenna had where all the girls were invited, where Sai ends up telling Jessel that Jenna came up to me at the party and was like, girl, I heard people say that you told them that you hate me. And Jessel's like, that's a strong word. And Sai was like, yeah, I wouldn't even use that word. Maybe I said I can't stand you, but it's not I hate you. And then they show a flashback where Sai was like, girl, you're not even like telling Jenna, like, you're not being honest. You're not showing up as who you really are. So we leave that scene and we go to Jenna's house. The air condition broke. Horrible, because I've been there during the summer. Did not have air conditioning for like almost like 2 weeks. You talking about I got like the meanest headaches. It was so hot down here. Ugh, being in the South with no air conditioning, That's hell, okay? If that let me know I need to get right with the Lord, all right? So she's in her closet trying to like purge her shoes. We see Nancy, who is her girlfriend's mom. This is the thing that I don't like about Jenna, and that's why I don't think Jenna is iconic the way the girls be going up for her. Because if you're going to be a part of this show, then you should have to abide by all of the rules. We should see your girlfriend, not your girlfriend's mother. Like if Cass and Jenna have like a situation where they get into an argument, or like Jenna's in her feelings because of the argument, we're only gonna get her point of view and not Cass's point of view. Or heck, we probably won't ever get it because she's not on the show. I just don't think that's fair. So while they're going through the closet, the Nancy, who is Cass's mom, her girlfriend's mom, seems like a nice lady. We end up meeting Raquel, the new full-time housewife. She's cool. We find out that Jenna and Raquel became friends around the same time, where they both were divorcing their husbands and coming out as lesbians. Raquel seems cool. I think the coolest thing about her job is that she puts art in like the movies and like TV shows. She talked about like putting art in like Empire. She said like several other shows that I've seen before, and I was like, oh wow, I never thought about like them actually adding art or making things look believable in the background. So I think that's cool. But she's an art curator and a model as well. She's nice. Her girlfriend, no, her fiance, she's pretty as well. Like she's like a androgynous pretty. So Raquel basically says that had she not met Jenna around the time that she came out, she doesn't think she would have like the courage to do so. So it was nice to see somebody else doing it, because she was like, it gave her validation that she was making the right choice. We find out that her mom and her don't really have the best relationship, it seems. She moved back to Puerto Rico and never came back to America, so, or New York. So she was just like, my mom doesn't really know that much about her relationship. I think her fiance's name is Mel. She said her mom met Mel, but Mel had a girlfriend at the time. And Jenna's like, oh, that's kind of messy. She said, yeah, girl, it is. So we move over from that scene and we see Abe and Erin with their 3 kids. They're at some ice cream parlor where they do like spiked drinks for the adults. And, you know, we find out that they have moved as well. They're no longer in like, I guess their apartment that was 2 levels. They moved to another apartment that's a lot closer to all of the things that their kids do. Because she was basically saying like where we lived, traffic would be so bad it would take us like 45 minutes to get to everything. And on top of that, she was like, it felt like we were going from Connecticut to New York. That was just too much. But now we're good where we're at. But then they started talking about moving again. Their oldest son is like, we need a bigger house. And it's mainly because he's used to what they had, which was the 2-level apartment. And where they're at now isn't bad, but it's not the same size as what they were at before. So he feels like it's smaller. Erin talks about wanting to purchase this townhome. And Abe is kind of like, yeah, I'm down for it. Yo, like we should definitely like do it, you know? But he's also like, it's going to be a lot of work because we're probably going to have to do a lot of renovations on this property. But they're both kind of interested in doing a townhome. And I think they should go for it. Their kids are young enough where I'm just like, it probably would be better for them to grow up in a townhome. That could be like y'all's, I won't say forever home, but it could be the place where y'all stay where the kids can grow up in and like create memories. I mean, I'm not a city girl. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm a visit the city, but I want to go back to the suburbs type of person. Okay, that's just really how I am. Or I'm the type of person like we can live on the outskirts of the city and go in when we need to, but I want to live in the suburbs. That's just who I am. So the kids end up walking away and going to play, and then Abe makes a comment about like, so Abe made this comment where Erin said something about like the wallpaper in the townhome has like cherubs on it, and he's like, oh, we should take like I wonder what that'd be like if you take mushrooms and stare at the wall. Erin immediately gets upset and is like, why would you say that? Are you dumb? And Abe is like, I don't like you policing my words. And so he gets up and she has an attitude. So Abe has his own confessional where he was like, the mushroom comment, she mad about something else, because we also find out that Something happened, but Erin hasn't said it. I'm like, did he cheat? Because, girl, if you would just say he cheated, then we probably would be okay with you being snappy at him. Because I did think it was kind of disrespectful for you to just be like, are you dumb on camera? Because I'd have been like, no, are you? Because we would have argued. Because don't do that. Don't play in my face like that. But Abe was just like, she's definitely not mad about the mushrooms. We also find out that, unfortunately, Erin's mom has breast cancer. And they haven't told the kids yet because Erin is just like, my mom is like their second mom. But I'm like, girl, tell them, because if she just pops up and dies on y'all, and that sounded very callous. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, that sounded so bad. I'm so sorry. But what I'm saying is, you don't know, like, so what we find out is Erin's mom went in for a biopsy. They took it and they found out that the cancer was a lot more aggressive. So she had to start chemo. And I'm just kind of like, if it's aggressive cancer, you might as well tell your kids so they can start preparing themselves for what may happen. But my bad for what I said before, because that was really mean. That was rude. I'm so sorry. Like, I genuinely mean, like, that was very rude of me to say it like that. I am so sorry. So let's talk about Brynn's party. Nice rooftop area. It seems like a vibe. Now I'm going to condense this. Everybody doesn't really show up all at once. We end up seeing Jenna get there first. Didn't like her outfit. I actually agreed with her girlfriend when she said it looked like she got on a period costume or a period. Yeah. We then see, I think, Jessel pull up with Pavit. Then we see Sai get there. And it's kind of awkward between Brynn and Sai, because Brynn is hoping that, Sai and her will finally have a moment where they come back together. But it didn't happen on this episode. So then Jessel pulls Brynn to the side and she's like, girl, Erin texted me talking about she's disappointed in me. And she was like, did you get one? And Brynn is like, no, I ain't get no text about her being disappointed, but I guess she's really pissed at me. So what we find out is that Jenna actually called Erin and told Erin what Jessel and Brynn said about the whole poor thing, and pretty much saying that Jessel corroborated the story that Brynn did call her. What Brynn said about Erin was true. So Erin is pissed. So Erin and Abe show up and Erin has like an attitude and she's not really trying to engage with Jessel. But then we end up seeing Raquel and her girlfriend get there. Well, I keep calling her fiance get there. And then we see Rebecca Minkoff get there. And so next thing you know, we end up seeing like two conversations happening at once. We see Sai and Jenna have a conversation about where Sai was like, who told you that I hated you? And Jenna's like, well, girl, I've heard that you hated me. And she points to Brynn. But she was like, I also heard other people say you have been saying some pretty outlandish stuff about me. And so Sai was like, I really judged a book by its cover. And Jenna's like, it's a cute cover. And she was like, last season, I just felt like, or last year, she was like, I just felt like you weren't being authentic. You weren't being truly yourself. So I didn't see anything, you know what I'm saying? And so she apologizes to Sai. Jenna said they're gonna move on. So that conversation is happening. You then see Erin and Jessel have a conversation where Erin is like, girl, why would you say that I said that she was poor? And Jessel was like, no, I said that you made a joke, but I didn't say you said she was poor. I said that like pretty much you meant no malice intent behind it. Like, we didn't make the story up. You said something to that effect, but we didn't. But I said you said nothing malice. And so Erin is pissed because she was like, girl, no, I didn't. I did not say that. So then we see Jenna, Erin, and Jessel have a sit down where Erin is confronting Jessel in front of Jenna to get Jessel to like pretty much cave and say that like Erin did not say what Brynn said. And so she's like, Jessel ends up like punking out and being like, mom brain. I got mom brain, y'all. I can't. I got mom brain because she doesn't really want to take sides. So then Brynn comes and sits down and you hear Erin go, ugh. And Brynn's like, what do you mean, ugh? And she's like, ugh, to you. Because she was, and then Erin stands up and she's like, she was like, I'm to you because I have integrity. I'm honest. I'm not a liar like you. And so Brynn is like, hold up. I'm not a liar. She said, yes, you are. You're telling Jenna that I said she was poor. And Brynn was like, yes, you did. And Erin's like, no, I did not. I did not say that. So then Brynn is like, well, you are attacking my character on Jeff Lewis. So she was like, you said I was a prostitute, a call girl. And Erin is like, no, I did not. Did you even listen to the episode? And I think Brynn ends up saying that she didn't listen to the episode. So I'm like, so what are you mad about, Brynn? If you didn't listen to it, you're just going off a hearsay. You should have sat down and listened to the episode. So, and they roll back the same clip where nobody called her a lady of the night. The man was just assuming that she might be a sugar baby. And like everybody said, girl, if a man said, hey, I want to be your sugar daddy, I might go get me some sugar and dip out. Honestly, I want a sugar daddy that doesn't want sugar, okay? You know, I don't, because Jessel even said if I wasn't married and had 2 kids, there was somebody who emailed me talking about they want me in a white t-shirt with a thong on, ready to get it on when they see me. So, you know, do what you have to do. So nobody was like judging her and nobody really cared. It was just Brynn who took major offense to it. But it sounds like she didn't even listen to the podcast. So then, what's it called? Sai chimes in and she says, you're lying. That did not happen. She did not say that. So Brynn is like, Sai, why are you getting into this? She said, because you're lying. Just like you lied about me saying that I hate Jenna. So they go back and forth and they're arguing. And then Sai's like, Brynn, you're unwell. You're just unwell because why would you lie about that? Because I never say that. You're narcissistic. You're unwell. So Sai starts getting heated and you see Rebecca and Raquel being like, that's a very heated argument right there. It's a little hostile over there. And so Sai is like, when we all went to Jenna's party, it was very awkward, very uncomfortable. And Brynn is like, it was uncomfortable because you said Jessel's husband looked like Finding Dory, which he kind of do. And Sai gets really pissed and she was like, why would you even bring that up? So she's like, why did you even bring that up? And then they end up reading the text message. Well, Sai hopped online and she pretty much said she said that text message in the group chat. So everybody saw it. So it wasn't like Sai said it behind Jessel's back. And Jessel's like, hey, everybody calm down. Let's just calm down. So that's when Sai was like, she was like, why are you even bringing them into this? Like, you know what? Not today, Satan. You're narcissistic. You're eager. Like, she was going off on Brynn to the point where Brynn didn't even have like a comeback. Like, she was just sitting there kind of caught like a deer caught in headlights. And so Sai gets up. She was like, not today, Satan. She said, maybe we can have a one-on-one conversation, but right now, I'm not doing it with you. So she gets up and walks away. And Brynn is like, why would you call me that? Why would you say I'm stirring up chaos and all of this stuff? So Brynn starts to cry. She wants to leave her own party. Her brother, she goes up to her brother to like say like, let's go home. He's like, what's wrong? We then see Sai explaining to like Rebecca, Raquel's fiance, and Raquel what's going on, and she's just like, that girl be lying. She just be lying. And then the episode actually ends with Ubah coming upstairs and everyone being excited to see Ubah and not even caring that Brynn is outside on the sidewalk crying. Now, do I think Brynn is a liar? No, I just feel like she embellishes. She embellishes a lot, because saying you can't stand somebody is for some people equivalent to saying you hate them. But sometimes you can say, man, I can't stand her. And it could be joking, or it could be something that's not that serious, or you're just saying it very flippantly. So I was just like, girl, did she lie about I hate her? But maybe putting I hate her made it worse. And then when it comes to Erin's thing, Erin is like, girl, I'm a storyteller. I make jokes, but I never said that lady was poor. And I kind of believe Erin, but I kind of also believe Brynn. I do think that maybe Erin alluded to Jenna possibly having money issues, but it wasn't that deep for Brynn to run back and tell her. But Brynn only did that because she was mad at Erin about Jeff Lewis. Same with Brynn doing the whole thing with Jenna and Sai. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. As always, remember to be bravely authentic, and definitely hop down in the comments below and share your thoughts with me. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.